So today, let's keep going with this little devlog series where I reveal some fabrication secrets about my current game project, Matchem, an action chill puzzle game with shapes and colors that will release on Steam at the end of the year. Just before we dive in, don't forget that if you want to learn more about the project and support it, you can add it to your wishlist on Steam to help it get noticed. And if you want to go even further and join us Matchemies, then you can participate in the playtest for free and tell me what you thought with the online feedback form to help me make the game even better. So a huge thanks to everyone who will take the time to help me with that. Okay, so last week we talked about the early days of Matchem's level editor and how I implemented its first core features, like moving around by panning the camera, placing, selecting, dragging, removing and cloning wall blocks, and of course changing the properties of those blocks, like their color. But of course, after that, I was kinda limited using just walls. I mean, with just those blocks, players can't even play a real game, since they won't have any gates to match. So the next thing I worked on was to create two more block types, the spikes and the gates. Now, the spikes are mainly a decor element. Since hitting a wall already hurts the player, it's basically the same as hitting a spike, and so those aren't really an additional threat. But they do add a lot of visual variety to the levels, and because you can recolor them as well, you can use them to really boost your level's appeal and uniqueness. And of course, the gates are an essential component of Matchem, since they're the thing that you're trying to match, and that gives the game its name. So in the editor, you can change the properties to set what symbol and what color the player will need to match to pass through this obstacle. At that point, creators had everything they needed to make super simple runner levels, such as this basic tutorial-like map that I prepared for players to discover the mode and try it out slowly, called ABCs. But, of course, there were still a lot more blocks I wanted to add to allow creators to let their imagination run wild. And so we'll talk about those in the next and last episode of the series about the level editor. But in the meantime, tell me, what do you think? Do you like Matchem's concept? Do you have any suggestions for features I could add to make the game even better? Feel free to share your ideas in the comments down below or in the feedback form online, and of course don't forget to add the game to your wishlist if you're interested and you want to support the project. And on that note, as always, thanks a lot for watching and take care.